is, so why can't she be God? We don't know where God is, when God is, how God is, so why she can't be God? The only thing you take with you after this life is your memories or your knowledge, your experiences. That's the only thing you take. This is no faith. This is not religion. This is actual fact. Death is an illusion. God was never outside of what you thought. Western man came and said, there is no God, they're just making it up. Look at this. Whatever the mind perceives, it makes real. So if you're gonna call yourself, you know, if you're gonna name your album Criminal Minded, don't be shocked if your DJ gets killed. If you're gonna name your album Ready to Die, don't be shocked.
I would much rather not live like there isn't a God than die and find out that there really is. Because time is the one thing that we can never get back. Think about it. You already know what it is. It's your boy Supreme Intelligence, Bob Lee Swagger, Mr. Swagger, the chosen one. God lives on Staten Island. We only on episode 3, so go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit the like button, and without further ado, we gonna get right into the video.
Because after a while, if you really become a spiritual being, you don't rely on the world for nothing. Nothing. You enter the world, but you are not dependent upon the world. You're dependent upon invisible forces. What are the invisible forces? Love. People can't see love. They're too busy watching hate. It's all about your perception. If you see love, you see love. I'll say it again. If you see love, if you can see it, this is love right here. I'm seeing love. She, in her own mind, may believe I'm not love. Love is bigger than me. I'm just whoever I am. No, that's in her head. She's only a dream character in my perception. She could be God for all I know. We don't know who anybody is, so why can't she be God? We don't know where God is, when God is, how God is, so why she can't be God? This woman right here, I choose with my perception to see her as God. This is an ancient African technique. God was never outside of your perception. God was never outside of what you thought. That's why Western man came and said, there is no God, they're just making it up. Right. But God is the greatest human invention in human history. And the reason being, the reason Africans created God is so that humanity in its infinity would never run out of something to rise to. This is why God exists. If you don't have God, you don't rise. There is nothing human about technology. Sorry. Nothing human about it. And this is what I want to say in terms of your spirit. What can you see? This is God to me. And I respect her and will treat her just like that. That's my perception of her. Now, she can do something to break that perception. She could do something to enhance it. What if she knew that I thought she was God? There'd be something in her that would try to live up to the image that I see of her. There'd be something in her that when she approached me, she would at least have to either deny God or become. This is how, as a community, we treated each other. If there is no God, then we are not family. The only way we can be brothers or sisters is if we have the same parent. Think. We cannot call ourselves brothers or sisters if we don't have the same mother or father. When God is the eternal mother, we become all brothers and sisters. When we all say, yes, I am part of this idea called God, not a man in the sky, not even a not even a spirit in a separate consciousness. No, we don't have to get there yet. Let's just make God up right now, like our ancestors did. Nobody told them what God was. What God was your dead father. What God was your deceased mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, ancestor, builder of the trough. This was the God. And when we got rid of the God, we stopped worshiping that God and started worshiping their God, we lost our spiritual power.
Check this out. I always told people that the only thing that God really cares about is perception and intention. And he touched on both of them in depth with what he just went through. So perception, the way that he pointed out the camera lady and said, if I see this lady as love, it's going to be something in her, if she knew I was to see her as love, that when I approached her, she was going to have to deny to be love or to become love. That is power in itself. So I see it as a family dynamic. If my son sees me as the person that always has the answer, there's never a day that I'm going to tell him I don't have the answer. I'm always going to be honest with my son, but I will never not have the answer or try to find the answer if he asks me something. In that sense, when he was talking about our ancestors and them being gods, I kind of get where he was going with it, because perception and intention are the most important things down here on earth. That's why people say the law of attraction, the energy that you keep is the energy that you attract. It means so much, because a lot of the times, the only thing that we have to do to get past a lot of the problems that we're going down here on earth is change our perception. That's it. If you just change your perception, it's kind of like cleaning your room. You could be mad that you're cleaning your room, but if you're happy that at the end of this all, you're gonna have a clean room to move around in, you're gonna be happy during the process of you cleaning your room. You have to pick the emotion that you wanna ride on. So when he was going into everything about how God was never outside of our perception, God was never outside of what we thought, I really understand what he was talking about, because what we know is only what we're taught. You get what I'm saying? But there is something called the intuit knowing that you can't be explained that. And what I mean by an intuit knowing is, if you ask a child that knows how to articulate itself, he speaks in full sentences, and you say, okay, this time I want you to think outside the box. Whatever, y'all trying to solve a problem, and you say, all right, son, I want you to think outside of the box. There's a good chance that he or she may look at you and say, well, daddy, what box are you talking about? How do you explain that? How do you explain the intuit knowing to a child?
There's an exercise where we could say this: rock star energy drink. Wow, I just put that in history. See how quick history come up right there. Rock star energy drink. Those who want to do the exercise, we're going to say rock star to ourselves without opening our mouths, without saying anything outside. We're going to say this to ourselves. We're going to say rock star to ourselves. Don't say it out loud at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now the question to ask, if you've said rock star in your mind, the question to ask is, what voice is that? What voice is that? What voice just spoke? You just said rock star without moving your mouth at all. On top of that, you on top of saying rock star, you heard yourself say rock star. How can you hear yourself say rock star and no vibration of sound has happened? See, this puts a different perspective on what sound actually is. And what memory is. Memory's not in the brain, memory's in the soul. The only thing you take with you after this life is your memories or your knowledge, your experiences. That's the only thing you take. Unless you study Egypt culture, they believe you can take all their stuff with you on the other side. Just as a side note. But if you said rock star in your mind or in your being is the true answer, is the true statement. In your being, what was that voice? What was the voice that spoke and then you heard yourself speaking? But these ears did not hear you say anything because your mouth didn't move. So the ears didn't hear it, the mouth did not move, but you spoke and you heard yourself speaking. If you close your eyes, you can still see this. What is the sight that can see your future? These two eyes don't see the future. These two eyes don't see the past. Yet you can see your past and you can see your future. You can actually see your past. What is the sight that can see beyond time? Don't give it away. What is this? This is an ancient meditation. This is an ancient meditation that I am not the flesh. I am the energy, the consciousness, the being in the flesh. And this is proof. This is no faith. This is not religion. This is actual fact. You can speak without moving your mouth. You can hear without ears. You can see without eyes. So what happens when these eyes, this mouth, and this ear drops off into the grave? These other senses are all you're left with. Death is an illusion. Once you realize this, you live your life more courageously. Now, no one wants to die before their time, so you try to protect yourself. But know that this body is the limitation of you. It is not your zenith. It is not your ultimate. Your ultimate is that voice that just said rock star. That voice that just said rock star without nothing physical moving, that person is immortal. That person is not here with you. Let's go deeper. The body is in, what is it, 3 dimensions, right? Forward, back, right, left, up, down, and time. 4th dimension, 3 dimensions plus time. That's our physical reality. Front, back, right, left, up, down, that's 3D plus time. What happened to in and out? Look at the Easter, look at the English thought. Back, forth, right, left, up, down, no in and out. No in and out. What is in and out? Rock star. Rock star says, I exist without the body. So where is this other existence? Where is it? It's not here. It's not in 3-dimensional space where you really are. The person that said this is in a whole different dimension. Just switch a little bit. Talk to yourself more. Affirm to yourself more. Don't move none of this. No, close this down and go within and say, I am the greatest ... ever. I have all my needs coming with speed. I am a being of love and light and knowledge. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Whatever it is, have your affirmation on your tongue. Or, sorry, in your being. This is how the gods created this whole reality. The first humans, imagine, the first humans, they came from inner space. They came out. Study the Anunnakis. They came out of inner space. Not from outer space, inner space. Rock star. Before there was a body, there was this voice traveling in this voice's dimension. To get here to the earth, the inner voice created this outer extension of itself to be in this dimension. Once you realize that you are not just in this dimension, but you're also in another dimension, you now are free. Because whatever happens to you here in this dimension is not your only reality. See, this is how Jesus was able to get beaten and brutalized and hang on the cross. He wasn't here. He was the rock star. Inside, he went to the inner man. Do what you want with the body. I'm not here. Now, once you realize that level of consciousness, where you are officially, you identify yourself as the spirit, not the flesh. You are the inner voice, not the outer voice. Once you become the inner voice, now your outer voice has power. Now when you speak, it's not just a shell speaking. There's a being speaking through the shell. And this is where you heal all sickness in your body. This is where you command reality to work with you, and it works according to your consciousness. Why? Because it's not a shell that's speaking. There's a real being in the shell that is speaking. And when the real being speaks, all nature and the universe responds. People are realizing now that your environment is way more important than even your culture. That the environment you're in, your genes are responding to the environments that you're in. Imagine that. That everything you do as a human, there's a tiny, 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 tiny little organism running around that does the exact same thing. And let me say it, let me put it to you this way so you can really see it. You are only a collection of cells. You should really spell it as C-E-L-F. Cell. Because what the self is the consciousness of cells. Cells reproduce, they talk, they have waste, they have a job and a function. Every cell knows what it's supposed to do. These are little thinking beings. And when they unite, they make you. The way you think is what they are thinking. When you say, I'm hungry, it's not you that's hungry, it's your cells that are hungry. You are the slave of your higher self, C-E-L-F. You are the servant of your higher self until you become your higher self, then you're free. This is why they say you are born a slave. You are. You're a slave to yourself. You're a slave to the addictions that your cells want. You're a slave to the made-up realities of your language. You're a slave to your fears and this kind of thing. Once you realize that I am the eternal, immortal being that speaks without this body, has existence without time and space, once you really know that, you start moving like that. And then reality starts playing with you. You start reading things right in the nick of time. Some message comes to you right off the wall. Nobody else see it. You're the only one to see it. Why? Because your perception is such. This is how you get over. This is how you get past. This is how you compete. Never compete is how you compete. The ancient way. This is the ancient way. You don't compete. That's the English way. The way of nature is cooperation. Everything works in cooperation.
Just to be clear, this is not in regards to any religion. I like to think of it like this, because when you're speaking about God, a higher force, Jah, Allah, whomever you want, just something in the sky that we can agree that is above us all, just like he said, when you're thinking about something like that, I like to think of it like this. If there was a number 4 that was in the sky that we all had to eventually get to, And my mom said 2 plus 2 equals 4. And your mom said 2 times 2 equals 4. Somebody else said 15 minus 11. Somebody else, you got the square root of something. And there's 1,000 different ways that you can get to this one number. But down here, we're gonna go back and forth and argue that your equation is the only equation. And you may be right that your equation leads to that number, but it's not the only way. That's the reason why I feel like we have so many different religions, so many different cultures. But if we do decide to come together, it would be in harmony because we are all getting to the same number, if you get what I'm saying. That just really aids to the perception and to the intention part of what I was speaking about. Because if you can perceive something, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if God was never out of my perception, really adds on to what he said when he said Western man came and said, yeah, there is no God, they're making it up. And also, man, I just want to drop this important jewel. Knowledge without application is useless. So with what y'all learned here today, think about it, maybe apply it to your life in certain aspects. If you think about what you want to eat 15 minutes from now, you're going to think about the food, then you're going to speak about it, you probably get on the phone, order it, and then you're going to manifest it. It's going to be right in your lap within like 30 minutes or less, right? So do that with your dreams, do that with your goals, do that with your daily aspirations, bro. I just want y'all to take this and flourish with the knowledge that was given here today, because if you think about $1 million, of course, some goals may be a week, some goals may be 2 weeks, some goals may be a few years. But either way, you still gonna acquire the steps that you need to take to get there. So think about it, because we're really powerful at the end of the day, guys. Like, our tongue is power. So whatever you think about, speak about, is definitely gonna happen. That's why I always say, watch your thoughts, because your thoughts become your words. Watch your words, because your words become your actions. Watch your actions, because your actions become your character. And watch your character, because your character is who you are. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is, man. Wabbly-dabbledy, baby. This is why they can't hold us down, because we'll never run out of something to rise to. It's a fact. It's good, big homie. Drop it in the comments. Let me know exactly what you guys think about it. Do you believe him? Do you not believe him? Do you understand exactly what he's saying? Do you overstand it? Do you understand it? I don't know. I want to hear your points of view.